Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Racing Unleashed for the second of the Watkins Glen GT4 challenges here on the iRacing platform. It's going to be a fantastic day of action. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, bringing you through all the thrills and spills across this American circuit. Such an iconic track. We saw great racing there a few weeks ago with the Challenger League drivers, who some of which will make a secondary appearance in today's special event. It is the Challenge League 2, as we've said, going into that third event in May in a few weeks' time. But it is Watkins Glen and that GT4 special event that we have coming up for you a little later on in the programme. The three races with that only at this singular qualifying to go with it. Obviously, reverse grid will be what will decide race 2 and 3. Obviously, the drivers that will take the prize money at the end of today will be the drivers who have scored the most points throughout the entire season. And I believe we can hear from James Walker with a little video we have to show you now.
Thing is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very tricky indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
For the words there, James, just talking through what our simulators are and what they can do and what fields you get with them. And obviously, if you watched the event yesterday evening, you would have seen that our All-Star pros got the chance to take a ride in one of our Racing Unleashed simulators throughout the All-Star event yesterday on that road to Ascari, which was a fantastic event. Great to see the Zurich Lounge full of life and full of atmosphere as well. And the simulators will be back later in May for the Spring Event 3. Not a Road to Ascari event, but a separate event just to end a pre-season sort of special events for the guys in the simulators ahead of the season in September. But right now, we can hear from our owner, Francisco Fernandez.
Dear friends of motorsports, dear sim racing community, I'm Francisco Fernandez, founder and CEO of Racing Unleashed, and I'm thrilled to invite and welcome you to our series. At Racing Unleashed, our goal is to put a dent into the universe of motorsports, breaking down barriers and making motorsports accessible for everyone, everywhere. With our state-of-the-art simulators, we bridge the gap between the virtual world and the physical world of racing. Our racing lounges do not only provide you exposure to state-of-the-art technology, but also ensures for fairness in sports, harmonizing software, hardware to give everybody the same chances to win. Additional to that, being the owner of probably the most beautiful and exclusive racing resort in the world, Ascari in southern Spain, I'm dedicated to scout the best talents in sim racing and bring them to the real track and real cars. Join us on this exciting journey and help us to become the most exciting and engaging motorsports in the world. Follow us as we expand our reach, coming to the town next to you globally. I'm also dedicated to make sim racing careers true careers for you. This year, we are excited that we've added iRacing to our offering, immersing ourselves even deeper into your hearts. Now you can compete even from the coziness of your own home and race for prize money. So I wish you herewith best of luck, may the best win, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in one of our racing lounges. Thank you very much, Francisco.
Thank you there, Francisco, for the kind words. And obviously a big season ahead with iRacing and the Assetto Corsa platform. We've seen 2 of our spring events, one more to come. And then obviously the big season starting in September, which is going to be fantastic. Drivers moving from Racer League to Challenger League, from Challenger League to Race League, and Race League down into that Challenger League. And maybe some new drivers along the way. But it's the iRacing event today. It is Challenge 2 for the Racer League drivers, with a few Challenger League drivers in there as well. And we've got the likes of Tim Bellicke, who was here last time out, who took some prize money home with him. It was great for him to see that. Ciro Zambra makes a return, as does Lewis Bellicke as well, and a few drivers out there that is going to be fantastic to see them across this whole platform. 13 drivers in total at the moment. Just looking at the gaps in the practice session so far, it is separated by just over half a second between the top 12. This was, though, the Challenger League race winners, or the prize winners. Jack Badger took that €125 home with him. It was great to see a great race from the youngster. Tim Bellicke, as we said there, €75 for second place, and Pekka Sapanyan with the €50 to his name. Obviously, the prize money today is a little bigger, with it being the Racer League. A chance of €200 for the win, 150 for second place, and third place will take home €100 to their name. 13 drivers out there as well, as you can see the graphic now on screen. So a lot of prize money for these drivers to potentially take home today, and a good amount of prize money for them as well. It can really help to, just fund some new equipment, or just, having the bank ready to spend when you can win a couple more prizes throughout the season. We're heading into Challenge 3 in 2 weeks' time. That'll be announced later today, so stick around at the end of the show for what will be coming in Challenge 3. You'll not want to miss that announcement, but we are in the famous Watkins Glen circuit, and it is this GT4 class of cars. And you see there the beautiful graphic of all the 5 cars sort of mixed into one. You've got the BMW M4 GT4, the Aston Martin Vantage GT4, the Porsche 718 Cayman, the McLaren 570S, and the Mercedes AMG GT4. Fantastic cars all around, and it's going to be great to see the difference here and the different cars that these drivers will use in today's event. We saw not a lot of Aston Martins last time out. We saw the Porsche be quite good around this circuit, but McLaren was the heavily favoured car at this track. Will we see more McLarens out there today? It's going to be interesting to see what the drivers who didn't race last time out use today. Obviously, the iRating that the drivers require to be a Racer League driver is that of over 6,000. So I do believe we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers on the grid that make up that Racer League, category. The Challenger League drivers coming in to sort of fill that grid a little more today. But it's going to be interesting to see, because can they mix it with the Racer League drivers? The format for today is a 10-minute qualifying session, same as 2 weeks ago. It'll be a 20-minute race 1. That'll be the grid order determined by the qualifying session. Race 2 will be not the top 15 inverted. I believe it is going to be a full reverse grid due to there being 13 drivers. Race 3 will then be the same from race 2. 20-minute races all across the board, and it's the driver with the most points that will count for today. And the points vary from 32 down to 18 due to the top 13 drivers. So there is a chance for drivers here and there just to make up some points across the board and see what they can get with their chances. 3 chances and a reverse grid in each race is going to be fascinating, because last time out, when we had a bit of a bigger grid, we saw that top 15 inverted for the likes of Jack Badger, who ended up by the back in race 2, by the mid-pack in race 2 and mid-pack again in race 3. He managed to work his way through the field. Today, the quicker drivers who win that first race will be dead last, so they've got to still come through them other 12 cars, and it's going to be fantastic seeing. Like we said, the gap at the moment is 0.69 of a second between the top 12 drivers, which is absolutely fantastic to see. It's really close between them all, so it could be some close racing around this Watkins Glen circuit. The gap between the top, between first and second, is 0.04 of a second, so you don't want to miss any of this action today. It's going to be fantastic racing. There is just over 3 minutes left in the practice session, and just behind me you can see, as we take to the Watkins Glen circuit, and we can see a bit of the track map there. As I'm just going to scoot to the left a little bit, you'll be able to see a bit more of the map. It is an absolutely iconic circuit, one of the best in America, one of my favourites personally in America as well. Really is a good sort of mixture of corners, and it can provide great entertaining and great racing. As you come down the start line, you come towards turn 1, the 90 it's called, literally a 90 right before you come up to turn 2. The S's, turn 2, 3 and 4. Very, very easy to make a mistake here. Very easy though to get a good slingshot up through the S's and work your way onto the back of the pack, or work your way to make a move as you come then in towards the inner loop, onto the back straight. You come towards the inner loop, a bus stop chicane-esque if you will. You come right, left, left, right. And again, another chance to make mistakes easily. We saw a few cars a couple of weeks ago lose the rear end of the car, and it was very easy for them to do there. Before you come to the outer loop of the sort of banked-ish corner of turn 5, downhill it drops away as you come out of turn 5, down towards turn 6, which is called Shoot. You come around the left-hand bend, you've got a bit of a straight. Can you get a good run out of Shoot? Down towards then, what is the toe? And again, another long corner, a hurry up and wait corner. You've just got to wait to get that power down on the exit, down then through the boot towards the heel of it. And when you get towards the heel, again, another chance for overtaking opportunities up the inside. But we saw great side-by-side action here as you come uphill towards that turn 9, which really did catch a few drivers out a few weeks ago. It was very interesting to see drivers make mistakes on their own. And it is so easy to do on the brakes here, to just lose the rear of their car and make a mistake. Through the penultimate corner then of turn 10, and then you come to turn 11. Again, another corner, very easy to make a slight mistake on as you come towards it, because you want to run up very wide to the exit, as close to the outside wall as you can without clipping it. We saw a few drivers, again, a few weeks ago, just clip that outside wall, and that is Watkins Glen, and that is what, in my opinion, one, like I said, one of the best American circuits out there. It is absolutely fantastic to see, and it's going to be very, very interesting. We are going to, though, just pop back to the Racing Unleashed trailer just to show you one more time before we get into qualifying. Drivers are going to be gearing up for it. It's going to be a fantastic season that we have in store. Qualifying is just underway, I do believe, looking at the time screens, 20 seconds into qualifying. So we are now into that session. Drivers are out on circuits, all apart from 2 at the moment who are still in pit lane. Here we go. I think this is, yep, there is one of the drivers, Mikel Gonzalez Alabao. We're going to go with, again, to the drivers. Apologies if you watch this back of the pronunciation of names. We will get there across the season. So one driver left in the pits. That is Vlad Tokarev then, who's currently still in pit lane. But we are seeing here with Mikel running that Mercedes AMG GT4 cars. This is going to be fascinating to see what these guys are running and what cars these guys are using throughout the course of this race. It is, though, however, they're going to be an interesting one. So I have actually now just managed to shut the time screen up. We have no Aston Martins. There is no BMWs out there on track. There is 2 Porsches, this one Mercedes, and then the rest are McLarens. Here is Tim Bellicky, who was second in the Challenge League a few weeks ago. He'll be looking to add some more prize money to his 75 euros that he got. He's got some experience, and I do believe he has his brother out on the circuit today, Lewis. So it's going to be fantastic to see what the 2 German drivers can do in this race. And speaking of Lewis, there he is, a part of the Apex Racing Academy team. So from our very own studio to our very own Academy team, Lewis will be looking to make good of that Academy drive that he has with the Apex Racing crew. 1 minute 45 into practice, and it's a bit of a long outlap here. You obviously want to make sure you have the gap to the car in front so that you're not going to catch any traffic on your flying qualifying laps, and this is going to be where Lewis can shine here today. So everybody is now out on circuit. All 13 cars are out there. 1 Mercedes, 2 Porsches, and the rest are all McLarens. So Mikel Gonzalez Alabau is in the Mercedes, Ciro Zambra is in a Porsche, and Pascal Sticks in a Porsche, as well as Lewis Belliquet starts his lap now, then down in towards the 90. 2 minutes 18 on the clock has already ticked by, and he comes through the 90. Use all the runoff you can. It's a big, big curb. He tries not to use too much of it. Coming up towards the S's now. He's going to flick it right, left, and then back to right. You can really carry some speed up here. And you're going to see in the race a few slingshots, I reckon, at the top of this one. Down onto the back straight, Lewis comes now for the first time in this qualifying session on a flying lap. And the driver who's the furthest through the circuit is actually Lucas Muller. So we may see time start to pop up on the board before Belliquet here. He's just behind him on the track. Here is Roger Christensen. Down coming through chute. This is down towards the toe now. So he is just behind Pascal Sticks, who's just behind Lucas Muller. So they're all, within a couple of hundredths of each other. They're not too close. Plenty spaced out, and there's plenty of space on circuit with only the 13 cars today to make sure that they are going through it as good as it can be, and obviously not getting caught up in traffic and not getting caught up in each other's problems. So Roger Christensen then, the Norwegian driver, through the heel up towards turn 9. Easy to just lose the rear. A bit too greedy on the throttle. Gets all over the apex. Absolutely beautifully done. As close to the barrier on the outside you can, as it now sort of filters in to this penultimate corner. Again, try not to touch too much of the curb on the inside as the corner just dips mid-corner. Now to the final bend. And again, look at the camera shot there. You want to get as close to that wall as you dare. Probably got a room to carry a bit more speed through, but he sets the pace, does Muller, of a 53.2. What about Christensen? He goes P3 at the moment, 4 tenths off the pole. Sticks his P2. Ciro Zambra goes into P4. Tim Belliquet now up into P4, demoting Ciro Zambra down a spot. Rettiani is now up into P5. Matsky is P7 at the moment as he goes onto the board. Here is Lucas Muller, the current pole sitter, as that is Yashar Nui into P2. Mikel Gonzalez, he goes up into P8. Belliquet then didn't post a valid lap time. Oh no, it does come up on the timing screen now, but it was a little off the pace. So clearly going for that second run is Lewis Belliquet. And then we have Nicholas Laubich coming towards the end of his lap on the timing screens. He's going to cross the time now. We'll wait for that time to pop up onto the screens. Unless it was invalidated. Vlad Tokarev and Simon Demori as well, also on lap times. But Lucas Muller down towards toe. He comes once again. Currently the pole sitter by 3 tenths. Tokarev then is 2 tenths off the pole, so he moves into P2. So a good lap time for Tokarev. So Laubich must have invalidated his lap, and Simon Demori then puts it on pole by 31 thousandths of a second from this man Lucas Muller. So already a great lap time to see there. He rounds now turn 9 down towards turn 10. It's going to be an absolutely crucial corner for him to get right, as he sets himself up for the final corner, just at 300ths of a second, off the back of Demori. Laubich, no lap time at the minute. Lewis Belliquet probably just getting ready in the car. It was a banker lap that wasn't the best, and Muller moves back to pole by just over a tenth. Tokarev is in pit lane, and Lucas Muller looks like he's going to return to pit lane again to make sure he goes once more. Here is Yashar Nui then, the Iranian driver for MAG Performance SRT. Round to final bend, as close to wall as he dares, nearly clipping the grass, coming down towards the start line. He's going to cross the line. He's currently down in P5. And I believe stays in P5 his last time of 56.2, so not the greatest from him. Here comes Lewis Belliquet, currently 17 seconds off the pole time, and goes P2. 400ths off the pole time of Tim Matsky then, who has managed to take provisional pole position away from Lucas Muller. Next driver to cross the line was Pascal Stix. We're just waiting for that one to update on the timing screens, and he has managed to stay P10. No, Laubich now moves up into P5, so all 13 drivers have managed to set a lap time. Here is Simon de Mori, currently P4 as he rounds turn 9. He's 4 tenths off the pole. Comes into the penultimate corner for the final time today. This is going to be an interesting qualifying lap time for Simon de Mori at the minute. If he can find a couple of tenths, he can easily move himself up onto that front row of the grid. Very, very close to the wall as he comes through the final corner, carrying that speed, as much speed as he dares. He crosses the line now, and for de Mori, it was... The lap time is yet to update, so I don't know if he has gone any quicker. I think he has improved. Still 4 tenths off the back. Laubich is now in the pits. Next to the final lap time. Tokarev is closest to finishing a lap. Muller as well. He's not a million miles away, but for Muller, he entered the pit lane, so he's come back out the pits since then. And is trying to get his tyres ready. Laubich, P5. Belicki moves up into P6. That is Tim Belicki then. There we have a 14th driver. Joe Vegard Godestad is on the timing screens in front of me. Here comes Yashir down in P8. Moves up to P6 with a good lap time within half a second now. So top at 12 drivers within 9 tenths of a second. This is absolutely fantastic to see from all 12 drivers here. It's going to be fantastic to see, as we say good afternoon to the comments rolling in. De Mori and Laubich in the pit lane. So far, with only a couple of minutes to go, they're not going to get another lap time in. Neither is Lewis Belicki. So he's bailed on his pole lap here. And Yashar, so far, is coming through the inner loop and is trying to now get as much speed as he can. He needs half a second, couple of tenths again. 3 tenths, finds himself on the second row of the grid at the moment in that third or fourth. Only 10th finds him on the second row of the grid, in fact, to be honest. So it's not too bad there. Here is Tokarev, Vlad Tokarev, P9. It's only 6 tenths off the pole time at the moment. Again, so a couple of tenths for him. And he finds himself up the order. Lucas Muller, currently P3, on board his car through the famous turn 9. And you want to run as close to the barrier as it tightens up a little bit. The barrier kind of jumps out on you as you want to take that run off to stop the drivers from being able to take so much track limits. Through the final corner, get as close to the wall on the outside as you dare. Very close this time round for Lucas Muller. Looks like it's a decent one at the moment. Is this going to be a better lap as he comes to cross the line? 0.29 off the pole. Christensen moves up into P10. Ciro Zambra now moves up into P10. No improvement for Muller there. And he will get one more shot at this lap, as will everybody who's just crossed the line. Here's Pascal Stix then in P8 at the moment. And that is qualifying over. So everybody finished. Tim Matzke will be the driver to take provisional pole position. And yeah, Joe Vegard Godestad, there, I think, will be classified as P14. So he's managed to get in. So there will be 14 drivers for this afternoon's races. So that just puts more pressure on the winner of race 1, as he'll be starting now an extra place back in the race. We'll bring you full classification when we have it. Tim Matzke lead on pole position then from Lewis Belicki. Front row, row 2 is Lucas Muller and Simon de Mori. Row 3 is Nicholas Laubich and Yashar Nui. Row 4 is Tim Belicki from Pascal Stix. Row 5 is Vlad Tokarev and Ciro Zambra. Row 6, Roger Christensen and iRating. And then on the final row of the grid will be Mikel Gonzalez Alabu and that of Joe Vegard Godestad in this one. And another McLaren to the grid. There is Tim Matzke. Provisional pole. I say provisional pole. He is pole. Can he take the race win? He gave us a little cheeky wave there from Tim, so nice to see. There's fans in the chat for Tim already out there, but which Tim? That is the question. believe it is Tim Matzke then from Mantini Racing. So the drivers just lining up on the grid at the moment, and hopefully so the safety car now can peel them away. Just had a change of headset, so hopefully that is better for the viewers at home. And the safety car now peels them away. A rolling start here at Watkins Glen. This is where the drivers are going to need to make as good a getaway as they can. It's not a standing start, so they won't need to get off the line well, but it is about following the safety car through, getting as good a start as they can. Down towards final corner, the safety car will peel into the pit lane. And it is Matzke versus Muller on the front row of the grid, and it is a great start then from Matzke down already into turn one. Muller's already moved into second place. Lewis Bellicke getting swamped in the middle of two other McLarens, that is Laubich and Demori, who has now managed to funnel into P3 so far for Bellicke. Then Demori and Laubich still going side by side up through the S as they come. This is where a lot of momentum can be gathered as they come down the back straight towards the inner loop. It is a good bit of racing so far, nobody off. They've all got through the first couple of corners nice and cleanly here then. And it is Matzke from Muller from Bellicke as they all start to look to pull out with that slingshot and able to get into the inner loop. Anybody side by side through? No, they all come through single file. This is great racing already. Tim Matzke got the start, but it's Lucas Muller, that is putting him under some pressure already in this race. Demori's moved up to P4 as he's side by side with Laubich a bit further back. This is on board with Lucas Muller. He's moved up one grid spot, and now here he comes looking on the back of Matzke then in towards the toe. Uphill they come, does well not to collect the back of him there, late on the brakes, as late as he dares. And this is going to be absolutely fantastic racing between these two, you feel, throughout the next three races. Bellicke just behind these two as well. And there he is as they all come down the boot, and there's a few cars in the background side by side. Newey's up to P6. In fact, he's just lost out by Pascal Stix, who's now moved into P6. They're still side by side to Stix in the Porsche against Newey in the McLaren as they come back up to that turn 9. That is Tim Bellicke looking up the inside of Newey there, not able to get alongside far enough. Now Newey's going to have a look into the penultimate corner, and it's just a chuck the nose out to let his Porsche rival know that he's there. They all fly through the penultimate into the final, and Newey's pretty much pushing the Porsche then of Stix through the final corner. Ciro Zambra's watching this on behind Bellicke as well. See Ciro there in the light blue car watching on as these three are having a fantastic scrap. Tim Bellicke getting close under the brakes of Newey there, and he gets really close. Newey runs as much of the track as he possibly can before the track gives him a limits penalty. Ciro Zambra now in a good seat to possibly get that slingshot up through the S's as they start lap 2. It's a 20-minute timed race, and now Ciro Zambra is going to look to that inside. He's already got to defend from Tokarev behind, and it's not attacking as much as he would have liked to. He is defending more from Tokarev as Ciro Zambra comes into the inner loop and manages to hold on to that position. Tim Bellicke then really trying to stick on the back of Newey's car. As Pascal Stix as well doing a great job in his Porsche. Only 3 other manufacturers out there today, everybody else in a McLaren. And it is this for the race lead. It is Tim Matzke from Lucas Muller from Lewis Bellicke, and are taking Laubich and Demori with them. And everybody within a good battle here early on in this race. 3 minutes in, you just see Tim Matzke there just checking his monitor to the side. In fact, having to make some alterations to take his glove off as he comes down through the boot, quickly back on and onto the brakes, ready for the heel. So he's multitasking while driving, and he still holds on to the lead. Not a mistake made there, and he had to make a correction at something at his own. We saw on his camera. Now into turn 9, just a little deep, possibly carried a bit too much speed, and you just saw him press the brakes down again mid-corner. This is looking back from your race leader. Lucas Muller, Lewis Bellicke, Nicholas Laubich and Simon Demori. 5 for the lead at the moment. Bit of a gap back then to Pascal Stix, who's now starting to just break away from Yashir Newey. who's still got Tim Belleke and Ciro Zambra right on the back of him. And there's a big gap back to Joe Vegard Godstrad, who's 2 seconds off the back of Ratiani. But this is Tim Matski then coming up through the S's for the 3rd time. And that slingshot not in full effect at the minute, or is Muller thinking of leaving it late because of the fact he knows how deadly that can be in terms of drivers being able to overtake? Look at the difference in speed because of that slipstream up through the S's, and they all bounce over the curb one more time. And still no changes for position at the moment. And they've just started to break away as a top 4. Demori just dropping off the back of this top 4 now. Demori's got the fastest lap of the race. They're just starting to drop off the back of this front 4 battle. So there's McLaren from McLaren, from McLaren, from McLaren, McLaren, Porsche P6. There's also German 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment as Lucas Muller coming under a bit of pressure from Lewis Belleke himself now. And the Apex Academy driver looking to put pressure on P2 in this race. But again, is it a bit too early to make their moves, knowing how effective the slipstream could be up through the S's? He just patiently waits. Lucas Muller, a part of the Door Esports team, representing them today. So it is Matski who leads from Muller, from Belleke, from Laubish. And as this race goes on, it's a 4-way battle for the lead. They have just started to pull away from Simon Demori a little bit. That gap's over a second now between Laubish and Demori. Laubish with the fastest lap of the race so far. Sticks is gaining on Demori though, and Ciro Zambra's really close for Tim Belleke. But we have a few replays that we can take a look at now. What has been a very, very clean race at the moment. This is down in towards turn 1 off of the race start. You see there Lewis Belleke in the middle of the 2 other McLarens, managed to all funnel through very nicely. No contact from the 3 of them. This is Demori and Laubish coming up through the S's on the opening lap, side by side. Great bit of racing you see here. I believe that was Laubish getting ahead. And now, sorry, no, this was Laubish getting ahead of Demori. Demori got ahead of him earlier in the race. Slight bit of contact there. Pascal Sticks going round the eye outside of Nui. It's a good move. He's doing as much of the runoff as he possibly can available to him. And up the inside, Tim Belleke tried to have a look there as well. Back to the live action now as Lucas Muller is having a look then on that of Tim Matski. Tim Matski's gone a little deep at the toe. He's had to give the room now to Lucas Muller, still side by side as they come down onto the boot. Great racing from the 2 McLarens at the minute out front, and it is Matski versus Muller down in towards the heel here at Watkins Glen. Lap 4 of the race. Muller still has that car just alongside up the inside, but I think Matski should hold on to this one as he gets into turn 9. Muller's going to think to cut back and look underneath, but it cannot be done there. And now Belleke is coming under pressure from Laubish in P3 and 4, so this is 4 for the lead at the moment. It's a great fight further back. Tim Belleke with Ciro Zambra and Yasher Nui as well, but this for the race lead, and it is Lewis Belleke who is putting pressure on the 2 leaders of Muller and Matski. There you see the battle for first. Demori's dropped off the back. The Apex Racing Academy driver now starting to put pressure. Laubish still with the fastest lap of this race. There's no points for fastest lap or pole position. It is just for the race wins. They're all using as much of the track as they can. Look at Laubish now, trying to use that momentum up through the S's to try and get side by side with that of Belleke. And they are side by side. No, not quite. As they come through the top of the S's, that could have lost him a bit of momentum. Is he going to try and have a look at the inner loop? 8 minutes in this race already gone. That is Muller having a look. And they stay as they are for the moment. But a great bit of racing between the top 4. On the last lap, look at how much Laubish has closed onto the back of Belleke once more. Pretty much pushing him through the outer loop. But still waiting, Belleke defending really, really well down through chute. Laubish on the outside, can't keep that momentum around there to have the inside line for the toe. Matski here has just managed to build a bit of a gap over second place. Lucas Muller. into this for 1, 2, 3 and 4. Further back, here's Ciro Zambra in P9. He's in a battle with Tim Belichick and Yasha Nui. A couple of tenths off the back of Belichick is Ciro Zambra. Oh, had a look up there into turn 9. Or was that a little wiggle that he had off the curb? I can tell you now that Ciro Zambra there on his camera, funded by his win in the Challenger League 2 years ago, and also by a couple of race wins he had. Prize money that he took home in the Racer League last season, so managed to fund a brand new simulator and sim rig equipment for him, steering wheel and the lot. So great to see Ciro Zambra putting that Racing Unleashed prize money to good use and still competing for some more here today. Tim Belichick, the privateer, down in towards the 90, managing to do a good job of holding off Ciro Zambra at the moment. And he's just started to lose out over Yashar so far in this race. That gap has built a little bigger at the moment. Looking at the leaders last time around, Matsky managed to put 2 tenths over the 3 drivers behind him. So he's managing now to just start to build that gap. It's just over 3.5 tenths, creeping over 4. Very clean, very respectful racing today. We saw a few mistakes 2 weeks ago in the Challenger League race, and a few incidents as well 2 weeks ago, as Belichick now still under pressure from Laubich. As they come through shoot, they've got Demori back with them, so it's now near enough 5 for the lead by the fact that Matsky started to open a gap up. Sticks as well. Laubich trying to chuck the nose up the inside at the toe. Can't get it done. There was not a big enough gap. May have caused a bit of contact there. If he'd have committed to it, he's backed out of it. And he clearly seems a little unhappy with that from Belichick in front. Thinking maybe he should have left the door open. He wasn't really alongside far enough. Going into the corner, using all the runoff there through the heel up towards turn 9. They're all back on the leader once again. Matsky, Muller, Belichick, Laubich, and then Demori just behind them. And if they're not careful, Pascal Sticks is with under a second to Demori, so could have a 6-car wave for the 6-car battle for the lead. Matsky there then still leads this race. He's led from start to finish at the moment. It will be down in 14th place for the start of the next race. And it's just interesting to see how many drivers are carrying the speed through turn 1, using all that runoff they can before the iRacing platform will give you that slowdown, all that track limit warning. And Tim Matsky clearly still changing things at his simulator, because you can just see him looking at the camera and just making sure that something is correct. He's done that a couple of times in this race, but I tell you what, while he's doing that, he's still not blinking at the moment. He's still leading this race. He's not cracking under the pressure of the cars behind. So Tim Matsky here, leading from Lucas Muller, from Lewis Belichick. Then it's Nicholas Laubich. Simon Demori's P5. Pascal Sticks is in 6th place. Yasher Nui P7. Tim Belichick P8. Ciro Zambra P9. Roger Christensen's down in 10th. Vlad Tokarev 11th. Ila Retiani is P12. Joe Vergaard Godestad is P13. And Mikael Gonzalez Alabao is P14. That is your classification at the moment. 12 minutes 46 seconds gone in this race. Great fighting here. This has been absolutely fantastic to watch. It's been clean racing. You have to say no mistakes from any driver that we've seen at the moment in this race. Tim Matsky driving a very good job. Now Laubich is actually, Belichick has actually pulled a bit of a gap over Laubich. So he's just fell into the clutches of Demori, and Pascal Sticks is now with them as well. So 2 packs of 3 at the moment. Here is the battle for first. It is Matsky from Muller from Belichick. Laubich has just dropped 7 tenths off the bike. But Pascal Sticks well ahead of Yasher Nui at the moment. But he's still got Tim Belichick on the back of him. all nice and calm. You just get the sense that race 3 or the first reverse grid could be a little chaotic, reversing these drivers around, as we see in the reverse grid races often. Drivers wanted to get to the front, but it's been very respectful from all these drivers at the moment. And it is Matski with just under 6 minutes left on the clock who leads this race, coming through down towards the toe once again. Lap 8 of this one. This is determined based on the time, not over the laps. Laubich still got the fastest lap of the race, but was 3/10 slower last time around. And everybody all in the 53s through the field, apart from P13 and 14. Last time quickest was Lewis Belicki, who actually did a personal best lap of the race, 53.0. But that was matched by Matski and by Lucas Muller. Here is the battle for 11th and 10th. There is Vlad Tokarev then, on the back of Roger Christensen. This is for 10th and 11th place. 2 McLarens. Cesar Rozamba at the bottom of your screen. See Rattiani further back. Laubich dropping into the 52s now as he crossed the line. So Laubich trying to get on the rear of Belicki once more. Here is Christensen looking back from him to Tokarev. Down through turn 1 they come once again. Can Tokarev use that slipstream up through the S's to get a good run towards the inner loop? Don't forget, points mean prizes at the end of this one. Literally prize money at stake. So Tokarev will want to go from getting 20 points to 21. Yes, it's only the 1 point extra, but with then that reverse grid, he'll be starting towards the front. That should be P4 if it stays as it is at the moment. Just couldn't use that momentum up through the S's towards the inner loop. You've just seen down through the inner loop and outer loop. He's just lost a little bit of time over Christensen. Newey still not being able to catch onto the back of Sticks. He actually lost half a second last time around. Tim Belicki did a personal best that time. There is Matski, who is still trying to sort out whatever he's sorting out. The camera's now fallen. So for Tim Matski, how he still leads this race while he's trying to fiddle around with whatever it is he needs to do, he's doing a fantastic job, to say the least. Lucas Muller will want to take full effect of this distraction that Matski's having in front of him. He has been caught by Muller. And this is becoming a little fascinating towards the end. Laubich is back on the rear, or trying to get back on the rear of Belicki. He's closed back up once more. He's not taken Demori or Sticks with him. It's 1.6 between the top 5. It's 2.7 between the top 6, if Sticks can just creep a little further forward. That'll be what he wants. Matski again just opening that gap back up through turn 1. 17 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. So I believe there's about 2 laps left in this race. This one and one more. And look at this for the lead. Lewis Belicki now in P3. Now we start to see Matski defending that middle of the road a little bit harder. Belicki's going to pull out and have a look into the inner loop. Not going to make the move there, though. He's not committed to it. He's run a little wide, though. And now Laubich comes side by side with him on the exit, down the outer loop together. And that was all Lewis Belicki, who just got a little out of shape mid-inner loop. And it's now Nicholas Laubich who's going to move up into P3, down through chute. Can Belicki keep it around the outside? He's trying his best to keep it there. He does indeed, gets run onto the curb. Now we'll have that inside line coming into tow. And the Apex Academy driver showing why he's one of the best on this grid today. Fighting hard with Laubich. Still together down the boot they come. Belicki will have that inside line coming in towards the heel. Laubich just being able to pull ahead on the straight. If he can keep it there, he'll have that inside for turn 9. Lewis Belicki towards the end just makes that vital mistake. Laubich is going to go up the inside at turn 9. Sticks and Demori have side by side in the background as well, but Laubich still side by side with Belicky. This is great racing, side by side through 4 corners now. Belicky still trying to hang it around the outside. They pretty much lean on each other coming through the penultimate corner. Now Belicky into the final turn will once again have that inside line, and can he use that momentum? So close to the wall there was Laubich. They're still side by side together. They aren't giving an absolute inch here. Sticks has moved up to P5 ahead of Demori, and this is absolutely fantastic racing on the final lap of the race. It is Belicky versus Laubich, who's near enough been side by side for an entire lap. And I believe now that Lewis Belicky, yes, has managed to get back in front and managed to hold on to that position. Now he's got to defend for that P3. But what a lap that was. Laubich here on the back of Belicky, pushing him through the S as he wants to try and make another move. Belicky pulls to the racing line to make sure his braking zone is bob on. And it is just enough. He's gone a little deep, though, in the same part of the track he did last time around. And Laubich comes for one final lunge. On this lap, they've got half a lap to go. Laubich around the outside of the outer loop over Lewis Belicky. He's run a little wide himself, and that gives the advantage back to Lewis, who chops the nose off and defends the inside line coming down into the chute. Now for Laubich, can he keep it on the outside? No, he can't. He's just dropped onto the grass a little bit there. And that might be the saving grace that Lewis Belicky needed. Battle for the lead, though. It's Matsky versus Muller. His camera's now back up, so he's managed to stand his camera back up. Tim Matsky has gone through everything at home today, and hopefully can manage to sort these problems out before the second race. He's got to come from the back of the grid, so he'll have a bit more work to do in race 2. But Tim Matsky here, he's been in control of this one. He's not been under, well, he's been under pressure all race, but not threatened too much by Muller. And barring a disastrous 2 corners here, it looks like Tim Matsky is going to take this one into the final corner. Now, what a last couple of laps this has been. It's been patient from all the drivers, but Tim Matsky rounds the final corner. He comes down to the line. He will take the checkered flag from Lucas Muller. Lewis Belicky will hang in there for P3. Sticks at Laubich P4, Sticks P5, Demori 6th place. Then it'll be Tim Belicky. Nui actually dropped down to P8 at the very end. Ciro Zambra P9, Tokarev 10th, Ratiani 11th, Godestad P12. And Christensen crosses the line in the pit lane, so not sure what happened to Roger Christensen at the end. And then last place will be Mikel Gonzalez Alabao in this one then, in his Mercedes-Benz, the privateer. What an end to that first race that was. That was absolutely fantastic. And the battle between Belicky and that of Nicholas Laubich, absolutely great race at the very, very end. Great racing between both here at Watkins Glen. Yeah, what a race. They've got to come from by the back of the pack now. And this is going to make race 2 even more exciting, if you ask me. Final classification then, Tim Matsky from Lucas Muller, Lewis Belicky P3, and rounding out the podium, Nicholas Laubich P4 with Pascal Sticks in 5th place. Simon Demori was P6, P7 for Tim Belicky, Yasher Nui P8, Ciro Zambra was 9th, with Vlad Tokarev P10, Ila Ritiani was P11, Joe Vergaard Godestad P12, Roger Christensen and Mikel Gonzalez Alabao P14. They line up on the grid. It is reversed order. It has been flipped. Tim Matsky now has to make sure his camera's stood up, make sure his problems are sorted out, and now overtake some cars in this second race, as he wants to take that prize money of €200 home with him. As the safety car now pulls away and gets us underway here. This is going to be an interesting start to this race, you wonder. I would like to, what happened to Roger Christensen at the end of that first race? That's going to be the interesting one for me, as he seemed to be doing well in a battle with Vlad Tokarev, and ended up going through the pit lane. So did he just take too many track limits and end up with a drive-through penalty, I wonder? As the Safety car has pulled in. We are green here for the second race of the day, and it is Mikel Gonzalez-Alabao who will lead them away. That cookies on that car. Well, let's see what he can do. He might be hungry for the win at the end of this one then, as he's already got that of Roger Christensen, who's had a good start, already up into second place and hot on his heels coming up through the S's on this first lap. Everybody looks like they've got through pretty cleanly as well. Ciro Zambra's dropped from mid-pack to 14th place. Not sure what's happened to Ciro Zambra, but Mikel Gonzalez already side by side with that of Roger Christensen. On the outside will be Christensen for the first part of the inner loop, gets through and gets that moved on. So he now moves up into the lead from Mikel. And it'll be Goddestad in P3 at the moment. Rattiani's fourth. Where is that of Matski? He's up to 11th place. Lewis Belicky has tumbled down to P14, so I'm not sure what's happened back there. But the back three, Muller, Zambra and Belicky, well off the back of the others. So I wonder if there's been a moment between the three of them. Look at this side by side for P3. Goddestad and Rattiani in towards toe. Rattiani's gone a little wide. That is Pascal Stix, who's now going to try and come up the inside. He's just got past Laubich. Tokarev as well has got past Laubich, and they all filter through. 20 more minutes of racing here with this reverse grid. Here is Joe Vergaard Goddestad, the Norwegian driver. Currently P3. On the back of Mikel Gonzalez here. End of the first lap. Christensen will lead this race. Muller, Zambra. Matski's now dropped down to 13th place, so not sure what's happened to Tim Matski there then. That is crucial in terms of his race here and coming away with some prize money. That looks like Laubich is going side by side with Stix, and Rattiani looks like he's going to have a look on Goddestad, but he can't get the move done there. Muller and Zambra are in pit lane. Have they been awarded penalties? Laubich and Stix behind Rattiani here, all coming up through the S's. Belicky as well is in the pit lane. Stix manages to hold on to that position, and look at this fight as well. Here is Goddestad looking for second place, so over Mikel Gonzalez. Look at the pack behind there, nearly 3 or 4 wide as they come in towards the inner loop. Rattiani's going to try and follow Goddestad through contact with the Mercedes. Oh, the leader's dropped it as well, all on his own through the inner loop under no pressure. That is Christensen who has gone round, and Goddestad now made the move for second place, got it done. It was Rattiani who made contact with Gonzalez, and all of a sudden Laubich finds himself in second place. Stix is in third, Rattiani's down to fourth once again. Then it's Tokarev, Nui, Demori, Belicky, Gonzalez, Matski, Christensen, and Zambra, Belicky and Muller all in the pit. Muller's now on pit exits and not sure what's happened to M3. Maybe some damage to their car that they're trying to sort out. But for Roger Christensen, all on his own in this race lead, he's dropped it on his own, makes a mistake. Ciro Zambra's back out on track as well, not quite a lap down. So you just wonder if Christensen has to pit to repair damage, that they maybe could find a couple more spots in this one. Tokarev down into 5th place now behind Rattiani. I believe it was Rattiani who clipped Gonzalez, dropped Gonzalez to the back of this pack in 9th place. Matski's only 10th, and Belicky still in the pits. So will he return in this race? That's the big question. Ciro Zambra will be hunting down after Lucas Muller. Christensen is into the pit lane, so this could allow Muller and Zambra an extra couple of places. And from race lead to what could possibly be 13th place, it has gone wrong for Christensen here. Fastest lap of the race, Tim Matski. But with him being 10 seconds off the back of Gonzalez, that's a lot of work to do. Still just over 15 minutes, should I say. And this is the battle in the mid-pack between Rattiani and Tokarev. Nui on the back of him. And Tim Belicky will be able to paint us a picture of the back of Nui's car. I know he's got Demori in between them, but Demori's trying to fight his way through the field. There is Tim Belicky, who's followed Nui through race 1 And Christensen still in the pit lane as we can take a look at a few replays of what happened earlier in the race. This was the race start, then Ciro Zambra in the blue Porsche. You see him just getting bumped around a little bit in that mid-pack. And, oh, it is an unsafe rejoin from Ciro Zambra. That is straight into, I can't remember, that was Lucas Muller, I believe, that was into the side too. This is Lewis Bellicki, drops it on his own through the inner loop. And bang, sideways into the wall. Tim Matsky, all on his own, drops the rear, he was up the inside of Tim Bellicki. And that's what happened to him. Roger Christensen, we saw this from the race lead, just too much curb. You saw it bounce over the curb, and the McLaren just got unstable and into the wall. And this is Alabau here with what I believe is Rattiani making the contact. And that was a few of the replays there from earlier in this race. So Godestrad leads from Laubich, from Sticks, from Rattiani, Tokarev, Nui, Demori, Bellicki, Gonzalez, Alabau, Matsky, Muller, Zambra, Christensen. Looks like Bellicki is out of this race. And to say Godestrad here came in as the qualifying session was on. He now leads this race, but he's got some pressure from Laubich behind, who just finished P4. Oh, so close to clipping the wall at the first part of the inner loop there. Very, very close for Laubich. You have to say, sitting in the best position at the minute to take that €200. 27 points he'd have scored in that first race, and he's already P2 at the moment to take home possibly 29. He is in a very strong position. Goddestad leading from Laubich with Sticks in P3. He was 5th as well in race 1, actually, so he's, 26 points to his name. He'll be looking to fight with Laubich in race 3. And the reverse grid, this could put Bellicki on pole. Ciro Zambra will be starting P3. So he's not been able to catch onto the back of Muller. He is, though, ahead of Christensen, so there'll be a few more points in the way of Zambra and Muller. Atsky as well will be on the third row. But Goddestad here, 7.5 minutes gone in this race, is now defending. Laubich, so we saw, put the pressure on at the very end. Christensen back into the pit lane. So not sure what's happened to Christensen there, but Laubich made their moves at the end of the race. Is he going to try and do it a bit earlier in this one to give himself more chance to attack Goddestad and maybe pull away once he gets past? Through turn 1 they come, now towards the SS. Pascal Sticks is behind them. Ciro Zambra and Lucas Muller, racing incident for the incident on T1 lap 1. They're being shown on the top of the screen. Laubich then goes to the outside line over that of Goddestad. In fact, he's got ahead of Goddestad going into the inner loop. So great move from Laubich here, who takes the lead of this race. Couldn't get on the podium in race 1. He now leads here in race 2. What's happened to Tokarev? Because he's tumbling down the standings. He's dropped behind Gonzalez, Alabu, and Matsky have both got past him. So Matsky as well on the back of Gonzalez, Alabu here, and every point he can pick up. He took 32 for the race win last time out. 9th place at the minute will give him 22 points. That'll put him on 54. But for Laubich at the moment, 27 in race 1 plus that 32. That'll put him on 59. So possibly some prize money still for Matsky, as Sticks has now gone up the inside, down the boot, into the heel. Sticks up the inside. It's P2 for Pascal Sticks at the moment. Great move from the Austrian. Really good driving. Goddestad now just dropping down the order a little bit in this one. And you have to wonder where he'll finish in this race. Sticks though P5 in race 1, so that's 26 points, currently getting 29 to his name. So that'll be 55 as well. He's right up there for some prize money maybe at the end of today. Rattiani in P4, Demori's P6, Nui's P5. I believe Christensen out of this race as well, so it'll be 13th and 14th for him and Bellicki, which will be a front row start in race 2. Laubich who leads from Sticks, from Goddestad, Rattiani, and then Nui. Can show you now what happened to Tokarev. So here he comes through the inner loop. Oh, just tapped Rattiani up the rear. And I think was that a little clip on the back by Tim Belicky. This is on board Tim Belicky. He's going to see that car appear. Yeah, I think just a small bit of contact on that front left. Belicky now has actually got past Rattiani. So he's got past the other McLaren as Tim Belicky now moving himself up into P5. That is further down the pack. Looks like Rattiani's had a mistake himself. He's no longer on the back of him. He's under pressure now from Newey. And Tim Belicky now looking to chase down Demori. This is how he got ahead. And was that Rattiani going a bit deep through the inner loop? Yeah, look, losing one place around the outside by Demori. Oh, and look at that from Tim Belicky. Round the outside, and we round the outside of Rattiani. Great move around the outside of the outer loop there. Newey on the timing screens has now got past Rattiani as well. He has, look, P6 for Yashir Newey. So he's moving up the standings. That is Tim Matzke, who's got past Mikel Gonzalez Alabu. That'll put him in, you know, it's more points for him. That puts him P8. That'll give him 23 points. Put him on 55 as well. Tim Belicky up 3 places from his grid spot. Nicholas Laubitsch show up 10. He's got Pascal Stix 3/10 behind him, so he's not been able to shake off Pascal Stix at the moment. Godestad has fell off the back. And it's Demori P4 who's nowhere near Godestad, but Demori P4, he was up there in race 1 as well. Coming up through the S's now. 12 minutes on the clock, 8 minutes left of this race. Here's the battle for 4th. Demori, Belicky, Newey, Rattiani, 2 seconds separating. Battle for 4th between 4th and 7th place. Lost Christiansen and Lewis Belicky from this race out. They have retired to the pit lane. Sarah Zambra is now running 12th. On board with Pascal Stix, 2nd place at the moment. Hunting down after that race lead from Laubitsch. He's actually lost a couple of tenths over the last few laps. 2 tenths quicker though last time around. Down the boot they come towards the hill. Knows he needs to get closer. One of only 2 Porsches on the grid. Through the treacherous turn 9. But we've not seen any of these drivers today make any mistakes whatsoever. Saw a lot of drivers 2 weeks ago just lose the rear end and drop the car. Now Stix flicks it through. Nicely done. Up over the curb, maybe a little too much there. Just see the corrections on the steering wheel in the cockpit. Needs to catch Laubitsch, needs to start to put Laubitsch under some pressure if he is to take the race win. It's the closest fight on track at the moment. Actually lost 3/10 that lap. Yashir Newey a warning for causing contact with Rattiani at the inner loop on lap 6. That was 2 laps ago. Newey has been giving a warning now. And there you see the pace over the last couple of laps. Stix to Godestad, P2 and 3. There is Stix to Laubitsch as well. Laubitsch actually quicker last time around, and lap 5 and 4. Just pulled a bit of time back there as Stix through the inner loop. Very calm, again just runs a little deep. Newey's got past Belicky then for P5 and 6. So Newey back in front to Belicky. Feels like them two have been following each other all day at the moment. Rattiani's on the back of Tim Belicky as well, further behind. So here are these 3. Here is Rattiani. Down 3 places. He'll be looking to make up that place back from Tim Belicky. Coming up to the 15-minute mark in this race, so with 5 and a bit minutes left to go. It is Nicholas Laubitsch from Pascal Stix from Joe Vergaard Godestad. He's your top 3. I believe this will put Nicholas Laubitsch in P1 in the current standings for the prize money today. They all come through the penultimate corner. Rattiani trying to get onto the back of Belicki here then. Leaders crossing the line, pretty much matching in lap time there. A couple of hundred separating the two of them. And Belicki, yeah, must have made a mistake somewhere, because Nui was in the 53s and Rattiani in the 54s. Tim Belicki down at 55.1. So must have had a little mistake somewhere on the track. Nice and calm. Again, you just feel once more that this is going to be a frantic end to this race if Belicki can get back on the rear of Nui. And he's not needed to, because he's already made the mistake as Yashir through the inner loop. He's going to lose out to Rattiani, and Matski's now there as well. So Yashir Nui making the mistake at the inner loop. And that has cost him 2 places, if not 3, because Matski gets past now as well at the chute. And Matski now moves his way up to P7. That'll give him 24 points. That'll put him on 56 now. So Matski on a bit of a comeback drive. Can also try and get Rattiani in this race. Matski looking to move up that order. Yes, he'll be out of position. He'll be, towards that midfield part of the grid for race 3. But it's the points that he's after. And there is Tim Matski. Looks like the camera's been adjusted again. We can see more of the monitor now for what Tim Matski's seeing as he's looking up the inside at turn 9. Rattiani gives him plenty of room. Matski, through he goes. Now Yashir's trying to have a look on Rattiani as well. They go side by side in towards that penultimate corner. Yashir Nui up the inside of Rattiani. Now Rattiani will have the inside line back. And again at the end of this race, it's all starting to come together. And Yashir cannot get through. Rattiani manages to stay in front. So a great bit of driving. Matski now will be chasing down after Tim Belicki. That gap is only just over a second. And with potentially 2 laps left in this race, you fancy Matski to try and get on the rear of Tim Belicki. What was their last laps? 4 tenths separated them, so going to be interesting to see what happens there. This is on board the roof camera of Tim Matski's McLaren. Look at the way he closes through there, the speed he carries through the inner loop. It's already down to 8 tenths. He's already pulled back 2 tenths of a second this lap. Nui's on the back of Rattiani further behind as well. That gap's just under 4 tenths of a second. And another tenth taken out by Matski through the last 2 corners. So this could go down to the very wire for Tim Matski. He's had a good display. We saw him make that mistake himself, ball that mistake. He's had great pace out there today. Within half a second of the car in front, and it's just that closing speed through the corners that Matski is making over Tim Belicki then, that is being able to allow him to have that chance coming on to the final lap as the leaders are going to come round now, and I believe they're on the start line at the start-finish straight. So they're about to start the last lap with 1 minute on the clock. So we are taking the white flag this time around. And for Tim Matski here, putting pressure on Tim Belicki. And this is all for points for the championship. So Matski versus Belicki, it's a battle of the Tims. But which one will come out on top? After his mistake earlier in the race, Matski's up 8 places on the grid, and obviously he's going to be starting towards that back half of the field now in that 3rd and final race due to the reverse grid format. Look at the speed that he's picking up through the S's. That slipstream will now be in full effect within 3 tenths. Under 3 tenths now, it's at 2.5 tenths. So he's getting closer and closer and closer. Look at them two behind. That's Rattiani and Yashir Nui behind these two. Side by side coming into the inner loop. Who is in front? It is Yashir Nui who has got the position done. So he moves up into 7th place. And it looks like Nicholas Laubich is going to win this one. He's 9 tenths clear. Tim Belicki now coming under pressure from Tim Matzke. This could be huge in this race and for that prize money at the end of the day for Tim Matzke. In terms of what he needs to get done, he needs to make this pass, needs to get them extra points. Running out of corners though. Needs to start to have a look. Can he get a better run through the heel? We are though going to go back to Nicholas Laubich, who's got in the lead and had that bit of pressure from Sticks, but not a lot. He's managed to do well. I believe will be top of the point standings after the first two races. Nicholas Laubich into that final corner. He drove a great race to gain 10 places. He's come from by the back, and he's going to be the race 2 win for Nicholas Laubich. He will take the checkered flag. Good points for him. Pascal Sticks, P2. Joe Vergaard Goddestad, P3. Simon Demori is going to cross the line, P4. But this between Belleki and Matzke. It is Tim Belleki ahead of Tim Matzke. Then it was Yashir Nui, Ratiani to the line. Then Tokarev will be P9. Mikel Gonzalez Alabau, P10. And just Lucas Muller and Ciro Zambra to get to the line for P11 and 12. We lost Roger Christensen and Lewis Belleki from the race. They returned to the pit lane. But again, the racing at the very, very end was great to see. This is Lucas Muller, who is currently P11, just waiting for him and Ciro Zambra to be classified in this one. Very interesting to see what will happen in this third and final race. Lewis Belleki will be going from the front of the pack, as will Roger Christensen. So around the final corner now comes Lucas Muller. For the final time in race 2, he's going to take the checkered flag. And we just await Ciro Zambra now, who into the final corner himself. I'm sure Ciro will want to bounce back in that third and final race, starting from P3 on the grid. He'll take the checkered flag and finish P12. We can await the final classification of the race. It was a great race, though, for Nicholas Laubich, who took the race lead and the race win by a second from Pascal Stakes. Joe Vergaard Goddestad was your final man on the podium. P4 was Simon Demori, Tim Belleki from Tim Matzke, with Yashir Nui P7. Ratiani was P8 with Tokarev P9. Mikel Gonzalez Alabau P10. Lucas Muller from Ciro Zambra. We lost Roger Christensen and Lewis Belleki due to retirement. P13 and 14. They will then, of course, be flipped for this race 3, which going into it, which will mean that it will be Belleki, I do believe, on pole position. And that will be the grid order, as I await to it now be placed into the correct order. So Laubich will now have to go from the back of the grid. Belleki can go from the front. Here is Gonzalez, currently out on track, as they'll have a couple of minutes warm-up just to get ready for this final heat of racing. So this is Mikel Gonzalez Alabau out on track. Joe Vergaard Goddestad, as well as Roger Christensen, are all out there on track. For Christensen and Lewis Belleki, they've not been in the car for a while, so they've had a moment to look back on that second race and what they can do into this third race. It's going to be interesting to see what each of these drivers can do. And now, by my calculations as well, with Matzke there getting P6, I believe it was in the end, 25 to his 32. That's 57. I believe he's potentially the standings leader for taking home that €200 prize money today by Racing Unleashed. €150 for second place. Let's not forget, and €100 for third place here at this 3.4 mile circuit. It's a great track, great racing we have on store for you today. Obviously, we'll be announcing a little later on the third challenge. Couldn't think of what it was then. The third challenge later on in the program. You will not. You'll want to stay around for that one. You won't want to miss that, because that is a fantastic race we have in store for you in 2 weeks' time for the Challenger League drivers to get their hands on, as the warm-up is coming to an end here. Here is Gonzalez still on the circuit, and This is Roger Christensen as well, who I believe will get a flying lap in. What a weekend's worth of racing here at Racing Unleashed. The All-Star event yesterday, followed by the iRacing Challenge 2 Racer League Series today. It's a great start to a great end to the weekend here at Racing Unleashed. We'll be back live in 2 weeks' time, like we said. Different schedule next month for May, with the Spring Event 3 being at the 25th. The Racer League iRacing Event 3 will be on the 19th. The Challenge League will be on the 7th. As the grid order looks like it's now going to be set. Yeah, great day of action. So this is the grid order then for the final race of the day. Lewis Belicki will be P1 from Roger Christensen. Ciro Zambra P3 alongside Lucas Muller. Row 3 will be Mikel Gonzalez Alabau from Vlad Tokarev. Ila Ratiani will be P7 with Yashin Nui P8. Tim Matsky P9 from Tim Belicki P10. 11th place will be Simon Demori and Joe Vergod Godestad P12. Final row of the grid, Pascal Stix and Nicholas Laubich in P14. That then is your grid order. Roger Christensen will be P2. Span from the lead, but you have to look at Lewis Belicki as the favourite. Forte took P3 in race 1, 28 points. He was P14 in that second race. That'll give him 17 points. So that puts him on to 49. Needs a good win here. And his championship rivals to not do very well if he's to take home a bit of prize money. So Lewis Belicki will lead the cars away from Roger Christensen. The safety car will pull off into the pits momentarily. And it will be all go. The final time here at Watkins Glen. The safety car pulls in. And for the final time today, we're about to go green. Lewis Belicki's already made sure he gets a good start in this race. It's not a great start from Christensen. Ciro Zambra going up the inside and Muller on the outside of Christensen in towards the 90. They're 3 abreast. They all get through cleanly. Bit of bumping and rubbing. Oh, Christensen span round into the wall. Huge incident. He's managed not to bounce off and collect anyone else. He's got to keep going now, though. There's points to be had. Ciro Zambra up into P2. Lewis Belicki's already got the gap he needed. Muller from Tokarev. Then it is Tim Belicki, Nui, Gonzalez, Godestrad. Matsky's dropped down to P9 in this race. And look at Muller, already looking to put Ciro Zambra under pressure into the inner loop. He can't make the move stick there. Ciro now needs to get his head down. He's made a mistake, though, through the inner loop across the grass. He goes, and Lucas Muller, is going to come around the outside, just leans on Ciro slightly as they go now down towards the chute. Ciro Zambra drops down to P3, drops down to P4, might even drop down to P5. As around the outside of the chute goes Ciro Zambra. That is Tokarev up into 3rd. Belicki moves up into, Tim Belicki trying to move up into P4. But it is Ciro Zambra who is hanging on in there for that 4th spot at the moment. Oh, was the contact? Tim Belicki's gone very wide and he's being absolutely dropped down the order. Matsky is pushing Gonzalez Alabau through there. You saw on the inside, Ciro Zambra's lost out places as well. And 3 wide, Gonzalez Alabau up the inside of Ciro Zambra. I believe that was Laubich around the outside of Zambra. Gonzalez had a little wiggle out of the heel. And Christensen well down the order, but he might still be in this for a couple of points because look at Matsky going side by side now with Laubich, P6 and 7. Laubich on the inside, Matsky on the outside. Here they come. Pascal Stix currently running in P9. Look, though, at Laubich and then at Matsky, still side by side as they come down the start straight. Laubich race winner, Matsky race winner. They're looking for that 3rd and final race win and potentially more points to take with them. Belicki from Muller, from Tokarev, your top 3. This is the fight, though, for P7. Ciro Zambra is just ahead. They all filter through. Gonzalez Alabau with Ratiani on the back of him. He's also on the back of Demori, who's trying to make up some places. Nui's up to P4. This is looking back from Laubich. Matsky with his lights full ablaze here, wanting to get through. And for Christensen, he's still going in this race. Got some time to make up, but you know, we saw drivers have their own errors and a little incidents in that second race. This race 3, it is all or nothing on the table for the last time. They all drop down. Matsky now trying to get closer to the back of Laubich once again. These two fighting for that points position. What has happened to Ciro Zambra, though, because Laubich has gone up the inside of Ciro Zambra. And now Matsky's trying to open the door. Matsky's clipped the back of Zambra and has span around. And I think got collected there by Demori. And for Tim Matsky then, yeah, not happy. Not happy. But you have to say, he drove into the back of Ciro from what we saw on our end. Muller out front on the back of Lewis Belicky then. Muller ball that second race. He's had some good points in race 1. And he's now looking to add to his tally in race 2 here. So Laubich moves up to P6. Matsky down to 12, but potentially with damage to his car. He's got to try and work through the field once again. Muller with the fastest lap of the race, was some half a second quicker than Belicky last time around. You wonder how patient this game will be for Muller over Belicky. As Tokarev trying to be caught down by Nui. We're just seeing Muller coming to the inner loop, get very close to the back of Belicky here then. They all managed to get through pretty cleanly. And Muller now trying to just put some pressure on the back of Lewis Belicky here. Then we can take a look at some replays of the start of the race. And this was going into turn 1. Ciro Zambra 3 abreast with Muller, who span that of Christensen into the wall. We do have another angle of this one. Christensen into the wall sideways. Didn't hit it too hard. And look, just a little contact from Christensen on the back of Zambra. And then it was Muller who just spun him off track. This is Ciro Zambra and Tim Belicky. Was there contact there? Not too sure. Tim Belicky ran deep. Zambra deep through the inner loop. And this is where Muller just drove around the outside of him. Easy as you like. The inside line for the next corner. So this is Laubich up the inside of Ciro Zambra. Zambra then still there, and you just see Matsky. Did Zambra give him a bit of a squeeze there, I wonder? And then collected as well. And what has happened to Lewis Belicky? He's gone wide, coming into the penultimate corner, and Muller takes the lead of this race. And now Nui and Tokarev going tooth and nail with it as well, side by side in the background. Nui moves on to the podium, but Lewis Belicky here has made a mistake and has allowed Muller through. And Muller in the thick of the action today, leads this final race at the moment. Nearly 6 minutes gone. Laubich is now on the back of Tokarev as well, so he's coming for another couple of points. But what happened to Lewis Belicky there? He's now got ground to make up. Laubich, fastest lap of the race. Must have made a big mistake. 54.5 for Lewis Belicky last lap. This race is far from over. He now has that slipstream advantage if he can stay in it. Obviously, it'll hurt him with the dirty air. You just see him having a little wiggle coming through the outer loop. Dropped a wheel onto the grass over the curb. Just lost a bit of momentum coming down into the chute now, but Laubich, the man on a mission. He's up 9 places and he's not done yet. He fancies a few more. He's on the back of Tokarev for P4 and 5. Belicky trying to close that gap back to Muller once more so that he can try and have an attack on the rear of him. Down towards the hill, 7 minutes gone in this race. Belicky just having a look up the inside at turn 9, gets very close under braking it, and has really gathered some speed on this lap. Whatever mistake he had last time around, he's put that to bed. and he's now charging on the back of Muller. Muller, drive-through penalty for the race leader for the lap 1 incident with Christensen. Oh, he's been spun around by Bilecki. Oh, it's into the wall. It's a huge crash. And Nui goes into the pit lane, and just as Muller got the drive-through penalty, he's into pit lane with Nui. That is a huge incident. Was that Bilecki who was caught out there by Muller, possibly going in for his drive-through penalty? Nui is out of the race. That was a huge incident there, though, at the final corner. Was that Muller coming into the pits that caught Bilecki out, I wonder? Godestad P2, Tokarev P3, Zambra is now up to 4th place. Laubich got caught up in that, he's still 5th. Pascal Stix is 7th. Pascal Stix is 6th. As Laubich now gets past Ciro Zambra, they're still side by side coming through the inner loop. Look at Tim Bilecki as well as Stix. All side by side here. This is for 4th and 5th on the track. Ciro Zambra now comes to defend from Pascal Stix, who's looking up the inside, going into the chute. Zambra's now attacking the back of Laubich. So it's all happening in this 3rd and final race. It does give you that reverse grid feel about it. And Zambra back ahead of Laubich, who's going to come in towards toe. Zambra's going to go a little deeper because Laubich is there. Stix is going to try and follow through, but he can't at the moment. He still can't at the moment. Zambra's still managing to hold it with Laubich, who squeezes Ciro Zambra. They lean on each other once more, and again coming into the heel. Zambra does not want to give an inch, neither does Laubich, and Ciro Zambra will have the inside line now for turn 9. And his Stix going to try and follow him through. Zambra now ahead of Laubich, who's going to come back at him in towards turn 10. This is fantastic racing here late on in this 3rd race. And Zambra still side by side with Laubich. He'll have the inside line for the final corner and manages to now get the move done. Oh, bit of a wiggle there for Ciro Zambra. What has happened? He's lost a bit of momentum. Laubich is coming back at him down towards the 90. In fact, he's passed him. So whatever happened to Ciro Zambra there, very slow at the final corner. Laubich gets ahead. Tim Bilecki and Pascal Stix, they're not done with this either. They want a few more places. Tim Matsky will be happy that all this is going on because it's more places for him. We can show you the replays of Muller a few moments ago. So this is lap 1. This is the drive-through penalty that he got given for spinning Christensen around. He should have got off the throttle, didn't, put Christensen into the wall. And then this is how he got the lead. He just squeezes Bilecki there, just as the barrier jumps out, he squeezes Bilecki. And then I think this here, this is where he's entering the pit lane. Now, for me, he's got to be on that yellow line to let Bilecki know. And it just causes so much drama. That is Nui, who goes backwards into the wall. He's out the race. But Muller there should have been below that yellow line for me before the final corner, just to let Bilecki know that he was coming in for his drive-through penalty. He failed to do that, and it's ended in disaster for him. He's in the pit lane, and I assume he's out of this race, and that'll go any prize money his way because needed the points in this one. Godestad here. It's currently P2, and he's looking good for some points at the moment. He has got Tokarev on the back of him for that podium spot. Laubich P4. That seems to have settled down with Ciro Zambra. Zambra's now got to defend from Stix. With Tim Bilecki in P7 in the background. Demori's P8. You saw Matsky there as well. So he gains 2 places over Muller and Nui. And now he's going to try and gain a few more points if he can get onto the back of the pack. 11.5 minutes gone in this race. Pascal Stix, P6 at the moment. Through the S's, on the back of Ciro Zambra. Porsche versus Porsche. Up he comes now. He had a good race too, got 2nd place. Would want to pass Ciro Zambra, sorry, would Pascal Stix here, because a couple more points to his name could give him a bit more prize money. Bilecki looked like he had a poor run through the inner loop. He's dropped back to Demori. Yeah, look, he's had a bad outer loop as well. Demori's got through, that's changed for 7th and 8th, so Tim Bilecki there Bit of a poor run. And through goes Demori. Matski's not far off the back of Tim Belicki. That was a battle from earlier in race 2. Goddestad here then. Second place. He's got Tokarev, Laubich, Zambra and Stix within 1.7 seconds. This is looking back from Goddestad. Up 10 places, as is Laubich in this race. Testament to Christensen for keeping going in this one. He's obviously gained 2 extra places due to the retirements of Muller and Nui. But Laubich, P4, doesn't look like he's got the outright pace. I wonder if he's got a bit of damage to his car based off that incident earlier with Muller. If he was caught up in a bit of that, that's allowed him to, that's giving him a bit of damage, because he doesn't seem to have the outright pace like we've seen him have earlier on and in race 2. For Lewis Belicki, 2 seconds in the lead of this one. He looks like he's got a comfortable gap. I say that. Now look at the run that Laubich has got through the S's. Here he comes on the back of Tokarev, who's currently on that podium spot. Laubich wants that €200 prize money, and he's already ahead of Tokarev going into the inner loop. Makes that move stick, and a great move there from Nicholas Laubich, and moves into 3rd place, and he's now on the back of Goddestad. 4 P2, which will give him just some even more points to secure some prize money. A great 3rd race here in this one. It's been fantastic so far to see. Stick still on the back of Zambra. Tokarev still in this fight as well. Gap's just come down a little bit to Belicki, so I wonder if he's just made a mistake this lap by a couple of tenths. But either way, Belicki from Goddestad. Laubich your top 3. Then it's Tokarev, Zambra, Stix, Demori, Belicki, Matski, Gonzalez, Alabu, Rattiani, Christensen. We've lost Muller and Nui from the race. And this is Pascal Stix. Oh, he's just carried too much speed. That's the outer wall we were saying about earlier. Do not want to clip that. That's going to lose him some momentum. It's a good job Demori behind. He's not close enough. Well, that would have cost him a run down in towards turn 1 over Ciro Zambra. Up through the S as they come once again. Look at the closing speed of Pascal Stix here. Imagine if he'd got that better run through, he'd be really close to the back of Ciro Zambra, who defends the inside line, comes back across now for the braking zone. Through they go, bouncing over each and every single curb. Matski gaining on the back of Belicki, that's 0.6 of a second. We'll keep our eyes on that fight as well. This is a battle of the Porsches. Pascal Stix versus Ciro Zambra. The Austrian versus the Swiss. Just losing ground a bit to Tokarev in front. Laubich getting closer to the back of Goddestad as well. Great day of racing here in this challenge. Number 2 for the Racer League drivers at Watkins Glen. Ooh, Stix trying to just close that gap. A little later on the back, on the brakes. Getting onto the back of Ciro Zambra once more. This is a battle for second place. Joe Vergaard, Goddestad, with Laubich behind him. Laubich has had a great day today. He's had a great day today in terms of the races he's had. P4, P1, currently P3. He's looking for that P2. But for Nicholas Laubich, tell you what, can't wait to see him back for that next event. What's happened to Tokarev? He's run wide. Ciro Zambra's got up the inside. Stix is now going up the inside. So what has happened to Tokarev there? That has allowed the two Porsches through. So Zambra moves up to P4 from Stix, P5. Zambra defending. Also Godestad is defending. On the outside is Laubich, trying to go around the outside of the first part of the inner loop. Great driving between the pair of them, still together. And I believe now Laubich still just on the outside, leaning on each other just slightly. Just ever so slightly through the outer loop. He'll now come down to the chute. Laubich will have the inside line. Fantastic racing Laubich has put on today with every driver he's gone side by side with. The move is done. And well, it might not be the race win. He's got to close down 2.7 seconds, and Godestad is trying to come back at Laubich here. Gets it stopped into the heel. And now you see Ciro Zambra and Pascal Stix trying to get involved as well. But a great move from Laubich. Up into P2 and on the podium again. Stix is going to have a look up the inside of Ciro Zambra a little further back, is he? Not close enough, I don't think. And Godestad was trying to look as well on that of Laubich. And look at this. Two McLarens and two Porsches going at it with one lap to go after this one. Stix just chucking the nose out, having a look. You saw there in the background, Matsky's having a look on the back of Belicky. There's three battles happening, and it's been a race where it's developed into these fights at the end. Ciro Zambra now really on the back of Godestad with one to go. If he wants that podium, he's going to need to get onto it. Oh, what's happened in the background? Tim Belicky has bounced off the entry to the pit wall. He is out of the race. I don't know what has happened there, but for Belicky, he has bounced off the pit wall entry. And his brother Lewis looks like he's going to take a dominant race win. I say dominant, it wasn't earlier with Muller in front of him. But Tim Belicky there, not sure what happened. Here is Zambra with Stix on the back of him. Godestad just in front. Zambra will want that P3. He's a very hungry, determined young man for wins and podiums. Always tries to improve each week. Had the pleasure of meeting him last season in Zurich, and he is a very determined young man here at Racing Unleashed. Watch out for him in the Racer League this season coming up later on. I believe we can see here is Lewis Belicky. We are going to show a quick replay of what happened with Tim Belicky here then. So coming through the final corner, nowhere near Matsky, bounces off the outer wall and bang! Big shunt into that pit wall as his brother Lewis comes up towards turn 9. Huge hit in the wall there for Tim Belicky. And it was all because he bounced off the outer wall straight into where the pit entry starts. Well, gives Matsky another place, gives Matsky a couple of points. But for this man, Lewis Belicky, comes into the final corner. The Apex Racing Academy driver will take the checkered flag, rounds it for the final time today. Lewis Belicky will be the race winner of race 3. Laubich will take P2, Godestad P3, Ciro Zambra will hang on to 4th, Pascal Stix P5, Tokarev crosses it for P6, Tamori 7th. Looks like Matsky will take that P8. And then it's Rattiani who will come across P9. Not quite there yet. He takes P9 now. Gonzalez Alabu will take P10, and this man Christensen P11. We lost him, Belicky, Muller and Nui in the race. But what a race that was. We'll get the championship points worked out and brought to you momentarily. I think Laubich takes the €200 prize money. We'll also get to speak with the drivers in this one then. But what a day of racing that has been. There is the final classification. Lewis Belicky takes a race win from Nicholas Laubich. Joe Vergaard, Godestad, P3. Ciro Zambra, 4th place with Pascal Stix, P5. Vlad Tokarev, P6. Simon Damori, 7th place. Tim Matsky, P8. Rettiani, 9th with Gonzalez Alabu, P10. Christensen, 11th. Belicky, Muller and Nui, DNF to 12th, 13th and 14th place. What a race it has been today. What an absolute bit of drama at the end of every single race. Race 3 was your typical reverse grid chaos in that one, and it brought some fantastic racing here at the Challenge 3 Racing Unleashed at Watkins Glen. Absolutely great scenes throughout in this event. Really has been a good weekend of racing here at Racing Unleashed. The 3 races yesterday in the All-Star event and the 3 races today here in Challenge 2 Racer League. All going into a fortnight's time, we go to Challenge 3 for the Challenger League drivers. Obviously, the qualification period will open up soon as well for the drivers to do their pre-qualifying to be on the grid for that one. So that is going to be an interesting one to go. We are just totaling the points up, and they will be brought to us momentarily with who will be the winner. I believe, from my calculations of Laubich, I think he's taken the overall €200 from what I can calculate. But I'm sure that Race Control and everybody else will be going through all of the decisions and making sure everything is above board. We'll get to speak with the top 3 in a few moments' time. As I'm just receiving an image of, yep, I believe the top 3 then is as follows. It will be Nicholas Laubich who will be your race, the overall winner in the standings. Pascal Stix will take 2nd place, and Tim Matsky will be the driver to take P3 in that then. So Nicholas Laubich, we believe we can speak with now. Nicholas, congratulations. P1 overall, €200 coming your way. You must be pleased with today's work.
Hi, yeah, thank you. It was a really nice race, especially the first one, where I was too wide with Bielika. I think the whole lap, it was an incredible race. And I think in the second and third race, I also had quite some good battles with, I think it was Pascal and Tim. So all in all, I think it was a really great event. And in the end, P1, of course, is really good, yeah.
Really good. You've had some fantastic fights. We've seen some great driving from you today. You was in the thick of a lot of battles and some great moves.
Yeah, it was really nice. The first race, especially the move with Bielike, I have no idea how he was able to stay next to me every time he was on the outside. It was a really nice fight. And then I think with Matske it was in the third race. We were also side by side the whole time, and it was really fun to drive everything. And I think the whole field was kind of nice to battle against. And I don't think there were some huge errors from anyone. So I think like this weekend was a really nice race.
€200 coming your way. Challenge 3 will be coming up soon. Obviously, all the information will be posted about that. Will you be here for Challenge 3? You're hoping to take home some more prize money again?
Oh, I will try my best. Currently, the schedule is pretty full, also with uni stuff and so on. But I will definitely try my best to do the whole season.
Well, Nicholas, congratulations on the overall win today. What a drive from yourself. Fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
Pascal Stix, we can speak with now. Pascal, P2 overall, €150 that you've pocketed today. It was a good race for yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm a bit surprised, to be honest. Didn't expect that, especially driving the Porsche, which seems to be not the preferred car, apparently. But yeah, very happy with that.
Very happy indeed. Like you said, one of only 2 Porsches and one of only 3 different cars that wasn't a McLaren. So the fact that you've been able to take P2 must be very rewarding.
Yeah, it was mainly just staying out of all the trouble and don't make any mistakes. Had a really good start in race 2, and then just stayed out of all the trouble.
Race 2 looked a really strong race for yourself with 2nd place. But just talk us through race 3 quickly as well. You was in that battle really for 2nd with a couple of drivers. Ciro Zamba, it just looked like you couldn't get past at the end.
Yeah, I knew I was in a pretty good position overall points-wise, so I didn't want to risk too much. But it's just I tried to go past, but not with that much risk. And in the end, I settled for 5th, I think it was. Yeah, so that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. Well, Pascal, congratulations. 2nd place overall, €150 coming your way. Well done.
Thank you.
And we will momentarily be able to speak with Tim Matzke as well. Great day for him, who took the first race win of it. And what a day it was all round for these drivers. I believe we can now speak with Tim. Tim, P3 overall, €100. It's the day started off well with the first race win, not so well in race 2 and 3.
That pretty much sums it up. I'm firstly, hello. Thanks for having me. Yeah, the first race and qualifying, they went really well, as I hoped for. And then in the second race, I just ended up in some tough situations. And then on top of that, made wrong calls, I guess. Like in the cockpit, you always feel like the other one could have done differently. But in the end, after watching everything back, there's not. I mean, some of the things that I saw from the others weren't what I expected. However, they were in their right to do so. So I guess it's mostly my fault, and that's why I also freaked out a bit. Don't know if you saw that. But yeah, I was just a bit disappointed with my own calls today on track. Pace-wise, there's nothing to complain about.
Yeah, pace-wise, fantastic. I have to ask about race 1. We saw every time we was on board you with your camera, it seemed to be a lot of fiddling in the background with something to the side. How did you manage to do that and keep that race lead?
Yeah, firstly, like I was using my phone today, but I didn't like with phone. You have the setting that the screen turns off after like 5 minutes or something. So I had to keep clicking the screen so it doesn't turn off. Otherwise, I think that the camera would have turned off as well. And I can't do that with the gloves on. So I had to drive with one glove at the end. That's what I was doing. But in the end, I think I had good pace. So even though that cost a bit of my concentration, the muscle memory took over and just did the driving. So it did cost me in like a couple of corners, but not enough so that P2 could overtake me. So it was not too bad after all. Then for the other races, I set it so that the screen doesn't turn off. Maybe I should have kept it. Maybe it would have helped.
Maybe a bit more of good luck for you. Well, very congratulations on race 1. Well done as well, Tim, for P3 overall. €100 coming your way. Hope to see you in the Challenge 3 in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you very much to Tim there then. So that then was your top 3. It was Nicholas Laubich from Pascal Sticks and Tim Matzke, your top 3. Then they'll be able to take home 200, 150 and €100 each, which is absolutely fantastic for them. Bit of prize money to come their way, and like Laubich said, their university things. So that'll help, obviously, fund a few things for him going forward in the next couple of weeks. €200 that he's been able to look at, to sort of back pocket and be able to fund some other things in the future. The schedule, though, for the upcoming month of racing here at Racing Unleashed looks like this. So we have the iRacing Challenge 3. That will be the 5th of May and the 19th of May, the Challenger and the Racer League. Make sure all drivers or anybody that is interested, get in touch on the social media or on the Discord server. Go to Apex Racing as well to make sure that you can sign up and register for the events. Get a pre-qualifying time in to try and get your spot on the grid for 2 weeks' time on the 5th of May. And we saw there the spring event as well on the 25th of May, spring event. No longer the Road to Ascari, that is done, but spring event 3 on Assetto Corsa back in the racing lounges. Information will be posted on social media for that one. For the Assetto Corsa land season coming up in September, then the prize money is fantastic. And if you're a regular viewer here at Racing Unleashed, you'll know that the prize money for these events, you see the Race League columns on the left, 3,500 Swiss francs for a win. If you wish to win a race all the way down to 200, 15,000 Swiss francs for the championship win. If you was Michael Schmiedel last time out, down to 750. Challenge League, 750 francs for a win to 300 for the championship that Yannick Pletcher managed to take last season. And for that, you have to be in one of our Madrid lounges, Munich lounges, or the Zurich lounges in Kemptal or in Calm in Switzerland. Fantastic prize at the end of it. If you want to be a part of that, make sure you sign up and you have to be in the lounges to do the qualification. If you qualify for the Challenger League, you will be in. And it's per race, you get that prize money there, and then for the championship at the end. So fantastic, fantastic prizes on store for us. That season gets underway in September. That'll run through the winter into next June. So that'll be coming up later in the year. We have the last in-house LAN event, if you will, here at Racing Unleashed going forward in May. Then a bit of a break before the season in September. The iRacing stuff will continue throughout the year. And speaking of iRacing, Challenge 3 will be the IMSA GT3 cars. So the GT3 cars you see on the IMSA package, they will be the cars that we are choosing. And it will be the Daytona Road Circuit. The one that you see on the Daytona 24 will be the track we go to. Grid size of 30 drivers, 2 elimination races. It explains the eliminations here. We'll get into that more detail on the next programme on the 5th of May. It'll be a 10-minute qualifying and 2 14-lap races. So get involved. If you want to get involved, head over to Racing Unleashed or Apex as well. Make sure you're involved on the Discord server and get involved. Get your car on the grid. A chance to win some prize money. Again, the Race League Drivers Day, €200 for the win. For Race League, it's €125. So make sure you're involved in that. But elimination races as well. So a different format to what we've seen here today. And I've already chucked my hat in the ring for maybe a format coming up in the future. So we'll have to see if that one develops there then. But what a day of racing here at Watkins Glen. What a weekend of racing with the All-Star event as well. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you to all our partners and thank you to everybody here at Apex Racing TV for the work they put on as well. It's been a great day and a great weekend of racing. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, though. The 5th, the 19th and the 25th of May. Mark your calendars. They are the events coming up next month. So there will be no double header. It will just be one race each weekend. So 3 weekends next month. You need to mark your calendar. No double headers next week. But that is all we have time for here at Racing Unleashed. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.